Imagine an era when diesel engines weren't just machines, but legends. An era before emissions sensors, before DF fluid, before computers controlled every drop of fuel. Back then, if you had a wrench, a shop manual, and some grit, you could keep your engine running indefinitely. These were mechanical beasts, designed not just to last hundreds of thousands of miles, but to keep going for millions. Engines that powered everything from school buses to 18-wheelers to military machines, and in some cases, they're still working today. Today, we count down the top 10 most durable diesel engines ever made. These motors were so overbuilt, so timeless in design, that they've become icons of mechanical reliability. And yes, number 5 might be the most underrated powerhouse ever built, while number 7 is still roaring in remote parts of the world. Let's take a deep dive into these mechanical legends. 10. Detroit Diesel 6V92. The 6V92 wasn't elegant, but it was tough as nails. A two-stroke diesel with a V6 layout, it came out of the legendary Detroit Diesel 92 series. It used wet liners, meaning mechanics could replace cylinders without removing the engine from the chassis. A massive time saver in fleet maintenance. With its signature screaming exhaust note, this engine developed anywhere from 253 horsepower to over 400 horsepower in turbocharged variants. These engines were a mainstay in transit buses, military vehicles, and delivery trucks. They weren't known for fuel efficiency, but when it came to raw mechanical longevity and simplicity, few could match it. They were easily rebuilt in the field and could keep running for over 500,000 miles with basic care. 9. Mack E6 and E7. Mack didn't just build trucks, they built their own engines, and they did it with pride. The E6 and E7 were inline-six diesels known for their incredible torque and long stroke designs. The E6 produced about 350 horsepower and was mostly mechanically controlled. The E7 came later, pushing up to 454 horsepower, and though it eventually saw electronic versions, the early mechanical versions were almost unbreakable. These engines became famous in dump trucks, garbage trucks, and highway rigs. Their construction was so simple that many fleets performed their own overhauls in-house. A well-maintained E7 could reach 1 million miles or more with just routine maintenance. 8. Detroit Diesel 8V71, another two-stroke Detroit classic. The 8V71 featured a V8 configuration and a dry sleeve cylinder design. Producing around 318 horsepower, it relied on a Roots-type blower for air delivery. It became a mainstay in heavy-duty applications, especially in buses and military trucks. What made this engine special was its serviceability. Mechanics loved it for its simplicity. No sensors, no computers, just pure mechanical engineering. Rebuild kits were cheap, and many engines were rebuilt multiple times without ever being removed from the vehicle. Some of these are still running in marine applications, where they rack up tens of thousands of engine hours without skipping a beat. 7. Detroit Diesel 53 Series. Here's the shocker. The 53 Series came in 3, 4, and 6-cylinder models and had modest displacement per cylinder. But they were designed to run forever. Used in everything from generators to armored vehicles, these engines were modular and could be combined into V-type configurations for added power. Despite their small size, they delivered reliable torque and were incredibly easy to repair. You'll still find these in operation in third-world countries, powering construction equipment, small boats, and military vehicles, often with over 30,000 hours of runtime. 6. John Deere 466. Built to run on the farm, The John Deere 466 became a legend in the agricultural world. It was an inline-six mechanical diesel known for its thick cast iron block, deep skirt design, and gear-driven fuel pump. This engine powered combines, tractors, and even military generators. It didn't have electronics, and that was a good thing. You could fix almost anything with basic tools. With regular oil changes and some fuel treatment, these engines routinely lasted 20,000 plus hours without major repair. Even today, farmers seek out equipment with this engine because of its rock-solid reputation. 5. Navistar DT360. Now here's the underrated gem. The DT360 was the little sibling to the more famous DT466, but it held its own. With a wet sleeve inline-six setup, mechanical fuel injection, and a simple rotary pump, it was a marvel of smart engineering. These engines powered mid-size buses and delivery trucks. Despite being in smaller vehicles, they often saw 400,000 plus miles before needing an overhaul. And when they did, rebuild kits were cheap and available. This engine was so overbuilt that even abuse wouldn't kill it. Neglect it, and it still ran. Maintain it, and it was nearly eternal. 4. Caterpillar 3406B. The 3406B is the last of the all-mechanical Cat highway diesels. No computers, no emissions controls, just raw torque and reliability. It cranked out up to 425 horsepower and became the go-to for over-the-road haulers. Its forged crankshaft, oversized bearings, and mechanical injection made it virtually indestructible. These engines often ran 1 million miles between overhauls, and when a rebuild was needed, mechanics could do it without a laptop. Even today, you'll find truckers swapping out newer engines just to drop a 3406B into their rig. 3. Cummins NTC 855. Born in the 1960s, the NTC 855 helped build the modern American trucking industry. With up to 400 horsepower, it used replaceable wetliners and a pressure-time PT fuel system that was dead simple and dead reliable. This engine was under-stressed and over-engineered. Fleets loved it because it could be rebuilt over and over again. Some units racked up 2 million miles with just regular top-end work. Even after it was replaced by the N14, the NTC 855 still had a cult following. 2. Cummins 5.9-liter 12-valve, the engine that brought diesel to the American pickup truck. First appearing in the 1989 Dodge Ram, this inline-six changed the game. With a Bosch VE rotary pump, a gear-driven cam, and no electronics, it was as simple as it was unstoppable. It produced 160 horsepower and 400-plus pound-feet of torque. And it could be tuned to double those numbers without losing reliability. Many 6BTs hit 500,000 miles with little more than oil changes and valve adjustments. Farmers, truckers, and off-roaders all swear by it. Number 1. International Harvester DT466, the GOAT, the engine that refuses to die. The DT466 was the heart of garbage trucks, school buses, dump trucks, and delivery fleets for decades. It had a forged crankshaft, wet sleeves, mechanical fuel injection, and a bulletproof block. It could be rebuilt in the frame, and most parts were interchangeable across decades. Operators routinely logged over 1 million miles or 30,000 engine hours, rebuilding the engine multiple times rather than replace it. To this day, the DT466 is taught in diesel tech schools as a perfect example of mechanical diesel design. These engines weren't just machines, they were lifelines. They powered economies, farms, cities, and wars. In a world filled with plastic parts and electronic modules, they stand as monuments to a different kind of engineering, one that valued durability above all. Did your favorite diesel engine make the list? If not, drop it in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into mechanical icons, diesel history, and the machines that shaped our world. Thanks for watching.